Okay, but is your office close to public access?
Yes, it is. It is right across the street from Pillbox Medical Center.
Okay. Are you in a relationship currently?
Yes, I am.
Who is that with?
Layla Lockhart.
Just because, you know, it's the 20th century, is this like a traditional monogamous committed relationship, or is it something else?
It is 100% a monogamous relationship.
Are you looking to add anyone into that relationship?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Okay, so we're here today to discuss some of this behavior. When did you meet
Objection. Counsel's testifying.
I mean, I was just about to get to a question.
Okay. Well,
providing some guideposts.
Yeah, don't lead regarding information or any of Miss Quinn's behavior. So I'm going to sustain. Just ask the question outright.
Fair. How did you become aware of the defendant, Evie?
She had asked me for a session.
And how did that go?
I don't remember much of the session. It had been a while ago.
Because he was tired.
And since that come with everything that's been going on, I've been trying to put as much of her in the background as I could.
Would you consider that a typical meeting appointment?
How the meeting went, I do not recall how the meeting went whatsoever.
Okay, so nothing memorable then.
No.
Okay, so after that happened,
Mika.
did you see Evie again?
Yes, I did.
When did that happen?
That had happened. That had happened after the text messages and phone calls she would leave me, asking me to meet her and her profusing her love for me.
Okay, so for the court's reference, that is the wall of text that you mentioned in report number 4251. And that is also the same that you took pictures of that we submitted into the various texts photo gallery, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'll just point out in those texts, Mr. Wright makes it very clear about trying to lay boundaries of their relationship. Okay, so after the texts, what sort of behavior happened next?
So it was consistent phone calls from Miss Evie Quinn. When I would not answer, I would get private phone calls. When I would pick up the private phone calls, it would be her trying to get me to meet, and again, her profusing her love for me, and me telling her that none of this is able to happen, and if she continues this behavior, I will be calling the cops.
Okay, and did that stop the behavior?
It did not.
Is that about when you got me involved?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
What did you do next?
After that, it had become apparent that it was affecting my girlfriend's life. So at that point, I had reached out to Ms. Quinn saying that I needed to meet to explain to her that this is not the kind of behavior that I can deal with in a professional manner or in a private manner. So I asked her to meet up. She said that she would meet me outside of the psych office. Once there, she said that she was up talking to Mr. William Thatch, another one of the psychologists in the city. I went upstairs with my girlfriend Layla and her friend Leonardo, and there I told her once again that there will never be any sort of relationship between myself and her, and that I will never be able to become her doctor again, with the way that she has been acting. And then after she attempted to grab onto me and saying how she's sorry and that she loved me, I removed myself from the situation and left. Shortly after that, I had contacted you to represent me in order to get a restraining order.
And that led to us filing.
Correct.
Okay, after we filed it, did you notice any change
Objection,
in behavior?
leading again.
The current question?
Yes, sorry.
Can you repeat the current question?
I asked after we filed it, did you notice any change in behavior?
The change in behavior.
Hold on.
She's got a rule.
Sorry.
I'm gonna overrule this one.
All right.
Yeah.
So the
Shoot,
change
Mika.
in behavior, it had ended up getting more and more aggressive. The phone calls continued. At one point, she had followed me around when she saw me getting into my vehicle. She had attempted to run me off the road. And when I was meeting with a client, she proceeded to block the front of my vehicle with her gray paneled news van and threaten my life. And it had continued to escalate from there, as you can see in the images of the notes from the house that she had left, and also the other text messages and tweets.
Just again, these are the remaining notes that we filed in the various notes and text section of the evidence.
That is correct.
And these were all taken by either yourself or your girlfriend, Layla, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can you, Claire, one sec. Okay. So did okay, and then the final tweet. Sorry, the final tweet there about arson. When did that happen?
That had happened this morning.
Okay. So is there a police report in regards to that?
That would be from Miss Layla Lockhart.
Okay. Thank you. How has this behavior affected your job?
I am currently on a leave of absence until all this is dealt with. I can no longer go to my place of work as she waits for me outside my front door of work. I can also not go to my current residence as she is consistently there, and with the threats, I do not feel safe or feel safe for my girlfriend.
Do you go out in public?
As of for the last few days, I do not.
And are you able to sleep in your home?
No, I am not.
Okay, that's the end of my questions.
You may cross this witness defense.
May I call you Mr. Wright?
If you wish.
All right. Mr. Wright, was there anything unique in your first conversation with my client?
As I stated before.
Objection asked and answered.
I'm asking in I'll withdraw that.
Well, hold on. What is your which question was asked, Titus?
If there was anything unique in the first run-in with Miss Quinn.
I don't recall you asking that. I recall you asking him what the first meeting was like.
I did follow it up with nothing unique then.
I know, Betty. It's great.
All right. Sustained.
Miko said entitled stalker. That is so true.
After the first session, did you give my client your phone number to contact her?
No, I did not. She had it before.
Did she ask you if she could contact you?
She had asked me to contact me beforehand when she had called me after seeing my number in the yellow pages and asking if she can get a session.
One second, Your Honor. I'm trying to go through all of the notes that I have.
Mm-hmm.
She asked if she could text him. He said yes. I believe in my lawyer.
When she asked to text you, did you respond? Sorry, let me rephrase. When my client had asked to contact you via text, did you approve of that?
When she had asked me for a session, I did.
No, during the session.
During the session, like I said before, I do not recall much of the session.
So you could have said sure anytime.
Objection. Narrative.
Well, let him finish the question.
I said I finished that first question. The second question, since he doesn't recall, I said, so you could have replied sure anytime.
Okay, is that the one you're objecting to, sir?
Yes.
Okay,
It's-
what's your rebuttal?
Don't think it's narrative. I'm saying that he could, since he doesn't remember, he could have agreed
Now
to
he's
letting her text.
testifying.
I'm asking him
Okay.
if it's possible he could have said yes.
He said
So you
he
can't
didn't
have two
remember
objections.
anything.
You can't have two different objections. You can't
If
change
you
your
two
objection.
are going to argue right now, I swear to God,
Please, lawyer, come.
you're not to address each other,
Oh.
and that's a fact. All right,
Apologies,
so
Your
Titus,
Honor.
what is your rebuttal?
He already stated there was nothing unique that happened. I don't know why we're focusing on the first meeting. He's made it clear he doesn't remember much, and it was just a normal appointment like any other.
Okay, and
Hey,
is
Fab.
your objection narrative?
Yes.
Okay, well then I'm going to sustain your objection because it is not narrative. I'm sorry, I'm going to overrule. So go ahead and ask the question and answer it, sir.
With every single one of the clients that I have, I always tell them that if they need anything, that it is okay to contact me. Yes, it is possible.
Have you ever complimented my client's looks?
I do not believe so. I do believe there was one instance where she may have been focusing on it, and I know one of the things I had mentioned to her was she should not need to worry about what other people think of her, but as long as she thinks well of herself, that is all that
HIPAA
matters.
violator. Hello.
Have you ever been
HIPAA
flirtatious
violator.
with a client, even if accidental?
No. I take my job very seriously.
Let me ask you something. Oh, sorry. Are you a handwriting expert?
I am not.
So do you know for a fact that the notes left were from my client?
100%.
But you're not a handwriting expert, so how would you know that they were from her?
If you go to what the last tweets were, where it's talking about her going into the house and cleaning up, that seems pretty positive to me.
Other than, do you have any evidence of her actually going into your house?
Her saying that she did.
And people say stuff all the time without actually doing it.
Is that a question, sir?
Sorry, Your Honor. Other than a tweet, can you prove that she was actually in your house?
I cannot prove. I had never seen her directly inside my house.
Do you use social media very
Yeah.
often?
I use social media to tweet out when I am available to take clients.
Do you tweet
Objection.
in-
Scope.
He'd already answered it.
Okay, plaintiff, what's your rebuttal?
Well, it's part of his job is
Well, you're not the
to.
plaintiff.
Again, it's objection scope. It's
I don't know
not,
the names, the words. Guys,
it's
what am I
not
called?
in my line of questioning whether he was tweeting.
What is
out or
Evie
not.
called right now? Not a plaintiff, but a
In
defend?
the future, you should be
Shit.
advising your clients
I don't
to
know.
take a moment before they answer, especially when opposing counsel is questioning them, so that you have
anything.
time to think of an objection. So right now, I am going to overrule it and allow this to be heard. But sir, just take your time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead.
So, do you use social media?
Yes.
Hold on.
Have you ever tweeted anything in a personal nature?
Defendant. Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever tweeted anything in the heat of the moment that you might have regretted?
No.
Is it reasonable to believe that other people may do that without actually meaning it?
Anything is possible.
Objection. Scope.
It's pertaining to the line of questions about his comments about my client's tweet.
Go ahead, Titus.
Shit.
At no time did any of my line of questioning involve any heated
Thanks, Jay.
at the moment feelings.
Austin.
There's no scope involved in this with my line of questioning, Your Honor.
Well, I'm going to sustain it based on speculation.
Can you tell me about your relationship with Miss Lockhart?
She was my
Objection
girlfriend.
asked and answered.
He asked if they were in a relationship. I
Uh,
asked.
and I clearly defined that relationship.
Okay. Don't interrupt each other, please. Yeah, I am going to sustain it because this question was asked maybe in different wording.
Do y'all
but,
want the
it's
link
gonna
to
be
the
same answer, so
pictures?
sustain.
To their evidence?
How did you and Miss Lockhart meet each other?
Objection scope.
Let's see.
It pertains.
Overruled because you asked about Miss Lockhart is the girlfriend, right?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Okay, and you had gone over the relationship, so I'm gonna allow it.
We had met out on
I'll just
out
show
on
the
beach one
pictures.
day.
That's it. This is their evidence.
Have you ever given any sort of advice to her as a professional capacity?
Objection speculation.
Can you repeat the question?
I asked, has he ever
They have witnesses. I
saw
don't.
her in a professional manner?
I
His
didn't
girlfriend is who you're asking about?
get
Yes,
it together.
prior to their relationship.
I wasn't guided
And what is
well
your, rebuttal,
about
Tice?
this, so
He's speculating on my client's actions that, again, were not brought into my previous line of questioning.
it's in the title. Q
Okay.
Qui.
Defense.
I'm asking if he had seen her in a professional capacity prior to their relationship, which is relevant to this case.
Okay, I am going to sustain it because this one actually is out of scope. If you would like to have him recalled as a witness and ask him on your own time, you may do so.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, have you ever been unfaithful at all in your life?
Objection asked and answered.
You asked if he's been faithful to Miss Lockhart.
Mm-hmm. Rebuttal.
He's actually got me on that one.
Okay. Overruled.
I have never been unfaithful to anyone in my life.
I mean, he could totally lie about that one.
Pertaining to the text messages that you had seen, were you confirmed that they were from Miss Evie's number?
Yes.
Yet you never submitted her actual phone number to prove that they were from her. All we have are text messages and not a number corresponding to it.
Objection speculation.
No, stop it.
It's very easy for him to have supplied her phone number to prove that those text messages are from her and not manufactured from someone else.
He said he don't even know.
Are you making the claim that my client made up all of these texts on his own on some whim?
I'm claiming that it is possible that he could have manufactured these.
Evie is such a shit
What's your
starter.
rebuttal, plaintiff?
She is such... I mean, there's no number to him.
Whatever, just go on with it.
He is a little
Oh, that's the
snappy
attitude I like to have in my
wappy.
courtroom, damn it. Fine, overruled.
What are you overruling? I don't know what's going on.
Ask the question again, please.
Evie just doesn't want the restraining order.
Is it possible that these could have been manufactured as you did not submit her phone number as proof?
No, it is not possible because I did not fabricate them.
Why did you not submit her phone number in the filings?
Objections. Not a professional. I'm here to do that, not him.
Well,
Okay, did you provide your attorney
Well, hold
with the
on
phone
now.
number? I'll rephrase, Your Honor, it's no problem.
Okay, well, let me know that then. Overruled.
Right,
Or, sorry,
sorry.
sustained.
Did you provide your counsel with her phone number?
I did not.
So you only provided text messages?
Correct.
Did you provide the proof of the phone calls?
Objection narrative.
I'm asking if he provided the phone calls that he claims that my client made to him.
Can I come through on this one?
Mhm.
That's general objection. That's kind of hard to try and do.
Okay,
Seeing that we have
understandable.
tsunamis coming through and all that stuff,
Oh.
and when whoever calls you
Oh.
gets wiped from our service anyway. So change the question.
All right, understandable.
There you go.
I know, right? Objection! Objection! Basically, all these objections
Have you
is like,
ever spoken
I don't know. Can I
with
object this?
members
Objection.
of the Lost MC?
Yes.
Are you friendly with them?
Objection scope.
He had just answered that he knew them, so that's within scope.
Once again, I did not bring about this in my line of questioning.
I'm gonna sustain it this time. You can bring it up when you recall.
I have no more questions at this time, Your Honor, but I would like to bring him up for recall.
Okay. Sir, would you like to redirect?
No, I'm good.
All right, sir, you may step down. You are up for recall.
Thank you.
All right, now I see you have a lot of witnesses here today. I want you to tell me which witnesses.
Damn, he has all these witnesses.
Are they all character witnesses? Are they eyewitnesses to certain events? What are these witnesses?
Okay, Layla is a witness to pretty much everything that had happened. She's also been involved. The other three witnesses are more witnesses of events that occurred. They are to confirm events that I have in mind. That have been submitted in civilian reports, as well as
Okay.
All right, let's bring Layla up then. And
I don't know.
The other witnesses. There's a lot of them. I have these
This
civilian
ain't what.
reports
This
here,
is
so.
witnesses don't matter, y'all. It's the evidence.
Leave him in,
Okay, let's remain calm.
Yeah, you can do that.
Remain calm.
Raise your hand. You swear to tell the truth as best as your knowledge, so help you. Thank you.
Yes, I do.
All right, she missed one in.
All right.
Thank you for the follow, Sarah.
Okay,
Thank you for the
Layla.
follow, Anna.
Are you in a committed traditional relationship with Jonathan?
Oh shit, my shit's wrong.
Absolutely.
Sorry, y'all. My
Are you faithful to each other?
Absolutely.
Are you looking to add anyone to that relationship?
Why did it change back? I'm
Definitely not.
confused.
Have you ever been?
Never.
Were you present during the face-to-face meeting Jonathan brought up with Evie?
Yes, I was.
Were the
I didn't
boundaries
skid.
of the
I didn't.
relationship clearly defined at that time?
It was an accident. I don't know what's
Yes,
going on.
they were.
No further questions.
Thank you for the follows.
Would you like to cross?
Miss Lockhart, have you ever been unfaithful to a partner in general?
Objection. Asked and answered.
I said a partner. I'm not specifying your client.
Overruled.
Never.
Have you ever been abusive to a past partner?
Objection. Scope.
Dealing with relationships, and as she is his girlfriend, it's pertaining to her past and her relationships.
Was not brought up in my line of questioning.
Sustained.
Can you ask the question again, please?
No, sustained would
Cannot.
have to
Yeah, I
answer.
cannot.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what's going on with this. I bought Prime and it's acting
Have you ever
crazy.
met Miss Evie Quinn before?
Objection. Scope.
Okay, if he says that
It
one
was
more
brought up
time.
before that she was a part of one of the meetings where Miss Evie was present.
You might want to recall this witness if you want to ask her all of this.
Then I would also like to recall her as well.
Okay, sustained.
No more questions.
All right. Would you like to redirect?
She okay.
No, Your Honor, but I would ask once again that you consider my original motion of summary judgment.
Well, I'd like to hear from defense first before I do that. So, ma'am, you may step down.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go up?
Yeah, I guess.
You don't
Right,
have to.
so-
I mean, basically, we're going for.
I'm looking at these
The
civilian
character
reports here.
attack,
Now, the civilian report
Okay, you think
involving
I should
Mr.
stay
Turner,
here then?
was this just an incident?
Yeah, you don't have to
or
go up
incidents that
because
he himself.
see how
had
hard that
with
I'm going
Miss
on
Quinn?
them, that I'm really trying to attack their character.
I believe there's some
They're
history
gonna do the
there
same to
where
you.
they
He's gonna
were
try and destroy your
previously
character
engaged.
and try to
Unfortunately,
pose you
Mr.
as
Turner was
crazy.
not able to
All right,
make
I
it
don't want to
here, so
then.
I didn't go
That's
too
no
much
problem.
into his.
Thank
Oh, he's
God.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was Meg a witness to specifically?
Meg was a witness to the offer to harm either Jonathan or Layla for money.
Okay, let's go ahead and call her up then.
Oh, sorry.
Who is this? Look at Evie looking so
My baby's
professional.
Yeah, I'm here. Raise your hand.
How cute is she? We gotta get a
Swear to tell the truth to the best of your knowledge.
screenshot
Under the
of
penalties
this.
perjury. So help you.
Wayward.
Wayward.
I do.
All right, she been sworn in.
All right, go ahead.
Do you know the defendant, Evie Quinn?
Somewhat. Know of her.
So
You can't make them respect you.
were
Like
you?
they're gonna attack her
one
character,
second
like
here.
you said. Like,
Huh?
look at all those people. They all have negative things
Take a
to say
breath.
about Evie. There's nothing
Ease
she could
into
do
it.
about that. Is it served? Hell yeah.
Can I
it
have
is.
a couple minutes, Your Honor?
Or what?
We sped things along quicker than I was prepared for. I just need to gather myself here.
Well, you're letting me call my witnesses or your witnesses for you. You probably shouldn't let me do that because I don't know what I'm doing up here.
Fair. fair.
She
All
don't-
I
right,
was
so
trying to speed things along.
How are you
Yeah.
food and water wise?
yeah, let's take a 5-minute.
All right.
I'm okay.
I'm gonna stare at this wall. Nobody talk to me.
Oh, damn.
I hope they can't hear me over there. I can't hear them, so.
Hey. Hey, you.
Mm-hmm.
Deep breath.
Looks at
Alright.
Mac's body up and
Deep breath,
down.
and you're good. All right.
Yeah. No, I needed to.
What do you want? Oh.
That's
yeah,
my 1 minute
no,
fame.
Lost.
Thanks for helping me get my my law stuff situated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come outside with me real quick 1 second. I want to make sure we can talk where no one can hear us.
Okay.
Mhm. You should.
Do you see them over there holding hands and kissing in front of me and
Yeah, it's
And
clearly
rolling
they're-
their eyes and just being really mean
Well,
to me?
Yeah, so what they're trying to do, and what the picture I hope you see that I've been painting is that he got himself into this situation
Yeah.
by making flirtatious passes to you, and now he is trying to save face with his girlfriend. It's them. It's a way of trying to rub it in your face.
I saw him
you know,
looking
'cause-
at Mac's body. I know him, you know. I know how he is, and he's a little flirt, and he was looking up and down at another girl.
Yeah, some men suffer from infidelity even if they don't want to admit to it.
Oh.
I mean, all his witnesses are nothing more than character witnesses as an attempt to slander you. Same with his girlfriend's messages about you online. he has no actual proof anything. He never sent them the phone number, so his counsel doesn't have your phone number, which means those text messages could have been sent from his girlfriend or one of his
Right.
friends.
It's just under the contact he's saved under.
Yeah.
And there's no
Also,
proof I left a letter. Only
Yeah.
the first day, there was,
yeah, but he has
E.
no proof that
Anyone could have left those.
exactly. So he has no proof that those letters left at his house were from you. He has no proof you broke into his house.
I could be
You know.
talking about any house.
Yeah, and see that text message you post could be taken out of context. If you're like, man, I don't want this house has bad juju in it. I just want to burn it down.
I
the
could be
feng shui
talking
of this
about a
house-
dog house, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
An
You know?
old raggedy doll house in my parents' house
exactly.
in Polito Bay, where my parents live.
Yeah, exactly. People post things on social media all the time that they
Yeah.
don't mean. They say in the heat of the moment, or they say out of context. Like if I say, "God, I want to burn my house to the ground," it could just be because there's spiders in here, and I hate
Right.
spiders.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean I'm actually going to do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't want to call you up because you've seen how hard I'm going on them, and probably that their lawyer's going to try and
There's
test
so
you.
many
you know.
witnesses. I mean,
Well, like I said, I'm going to, hopefully they won't call all them up, because I'm basically going to ask them, are you friends with Mr. Wright? Is it in your benefit to stay on his good side? So I'm going to paint them that they're only witnesses.
but why
in
would it
sense
be a
to stay-
benefit for them not to? He's just a doctor.
Well, if they're friends, they don't want to lose him as a friend. You would do
Oh.
stuff for your friends. Like if my friend called me and said, "Hey, I need your help. It's 2 a.m. We got to go." Like, "Hey, my wife's giving birth and I need your help." Boom, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You have a biological need. I want to say biological. You have an imperative need to protect your friends, those you hold close. So that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
So they would be willing to lie to protect him.
Right. Okay.
So that's
Just
that's
so
where we go.
rude. Like,
Well,
where's my witnesses? I could have brought witnesses.
we don't need them because he has all his evidence is circumstantial.
Okay.
Oh, we have text messages, but we don't have a phone number attached to them. Oh, we have phone calls. I didn't provide any of the phone call. Oh, there's tweets, but the tweets are out of context.
What if they start
So-
saying things like, "Oh, she told me this, she told me that"? How are you going to defend that? Like, how does
Oh.
that work?
That's hearsay.
Hearsay? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
true.
hearsay.
They're trying to ruin my character. What's that called?
Yeah, slander or
Slander.
defamation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trust
And he
me,
has all those
doing that
people
too.
to do that. You're so smart. I believe in you. I trust you.
All right, let's get back in there.
No, there's not.
No.
Who's this on my side?
I'm ready again, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, I'm doing watermelon ASMR, so give me a second.
All right.
Watermelon
Oh, wait, you got watermelon.
ASMR.
Hell yeah.
She said, "I'm doing watermelon ASMR. Give me a moment." That sounds like me.
All right, go ahead.
What?
All right, Meg.
No, Evie will not go to jail. She's just fighting a restraining order. In real life, if someone wins a restraining order against you, you can't have a firearm, and it just affects your character, and it just
Okay.
does not look good for
Beginning
you. That's
again.
why we're fighting it.
Are you friends with a man named Lucas Finch?
Yes.
Are you aware of how he advertises his services on the Yellow Pages?
Yes.
What does he do?
He puts out an ad on the Yellow Pages saying offering his services for anything crime related. Could be a hitman, could be for robberies. Could be for
Look up
anything,
on
basically.
Google what would a
Were
restraining
you
order.
with him when he
How would a restraining
received
order
a phone
affect you,
call
or something like that? I don't know.
that he later are you often with him when he? Sorry, let me rephrase, Your Honor.
That is the real
Are
question.
you with him when he has that ad in the Yellow Pages?
We'll see.
Yes.
Does he often receive calls for his services?
Yes.
Does he tell you about the particulars of those calls when he receives them?
Yes.
Did he tell you about the particulars of a call he had with Evie Quinn?
Yes.
Were you familiar with Evie at the time?
Yes.
Did shortly after the call, did you ever run into Evie?
Yes.
How so?
I pulled up by her in a pink taxi because I recognized her pink taxi.
Okay, and did you have a conversation with her at that time?
Yes.
And did you ask her about the offer she made to Lucas Finch?
Yes.
And what did she say?
She at first claimed she didn't know anything about it, and then about 30 seconds later rebuttal and said, "Oh yeah, that was me. That was me."
How do you know the offer was genuine?
Because
Objection, Your Honor.
What?
Speculation.
Repeat the question.
How do you know the offer was genuine?
he was gonna do it until.
Stop.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
He was gonna do it. She just told on Lucas, her
rebuttal.
friend.
I don't think I'm speculating at all. It's
That
a
he was
very
gonna quote
specifically
unquote
worded
do it.
question, to show a fact,
Kill
not her opinion
her.
or a
That's so
narrative.
funny. He said, "Stop talking."
Defense.
She is speculating if he would actually commit it, or if, I would withdraw.
Why would you withdraw? Why are both of you giving up halfway through? Because let me tell you something, sir. I agree with you. I think there's a way that you can word this question that would not make it speculative.
That's
So I am going to sustain this. And I think there's a way that you can word this question that would make it not speculative.
She is. She's like, he was gonna do it.
And if you're truly having issues with it, let me know.
You know, they're learning too, so gotta have court cases
Did
so
you
that people can
believe
learn.
the offer when it
It's
was
all
made?
fun.
Yes.
Why?
Because I have witnessed him accepting all sorts of offers for as little as $50, so he would be down for whatever.
Oh shit.
Other than Lucas, why would the offer from Evie be genuine?
Because I had been told.
Your Honor,
she had-
objection. Speculation again.
Repeat the question.
Why would the offer from Evie be genuine?
Okay, and what's your rebuttal?
It's speculating she has only met my client on a brief occasion and would have no real knowledge without knowing her. You can't assume that from like one encounter.
Okay, Titus.
It's a very important meeting of two people where the view was changed from one of joking to an admittance, and I'm trying to ascertain, the state of the genuinity of the proposal here.
I'm gonna sustain. Move on or reword.
After the conversation, was there a real threat to Jonathan Wright?
It was towards Layla, the thing.
Towards Layla, then?
Yes.
This is looking
Yes.
good for Evie.
All right, no further.
I think. I don't know.
Have you ever watched Mr. Spence commit one of these crimes?
Mr. Spence.
Sorry, names are not my strong suit.
Lucas Finch.
Sorry, Finch. Have you ever witnessed Mr. Finch
Trying to get a good
commit one of these
snapshot,
acts?
because I'm weird
Yes.
like that.
Have you ever reported his criminal acts to the police?
No.
So you've been an accessory to him committing crimes.
No.
But you just said that you watched him attack people
I've
for
I've
money.
Objection,
Again?
badgering.
Sorry, y'all.
It's cross.
This mic.
She's considered hostile.
Well, you could still badger, but what's your rebuttal?
She would, since it's cross, would she not be considered hostile and I'd be allowed to badge?
She is. You may badger, but not to the point where it becomes stressful or otherwise to the courtroom or to the witness himself. So, what is your rebuttal, sir?
I'll withdraw that then, Your Honor.
Okay.
Do people typically post ads for hits?
Objection, speculation.
Her friend is a confirmed hitman.
Yes.
She had
Yes,
just admitted
but
several times.
But the question you're asking is if people generally or typically post ads
Right.
for hitmen.
I'll rephrase. Does your friend frequently post offers?
Objection, asked and answered.
I believe he asked if
All
he
right, I'm
posted.
back.
I'm
I just
asking
had to grab a Mountain
frequency.
Dew real quick.
Rebuttal,
Okay.
plaintiff.
I did indicate
I haven't
the
eaten nothing
frequency
today.
of it in there as well. I asked if he always did it.
Rebuttal defense.
Mountain Dew.
If he did ask frequency, then I
can
must have missed
opening.
it, Your Honor. I did not hear him ask for frequency.
Okay, that was a little
I
loud.
merely heard him ask if he did post an ad.
Okay, sustain then.
You said that there was a threat to Miss Lockhart.
Yes.
Was the threat from Mr. Finch?
No, it's from Evie.
But you claim Miss Evie was hiring your friend to
Well,
commit the act.
It coincides. She's also a threat to Layla. Does it not? She is
How-
the one taking out the hint.
Could you please recall how many times you have met my client?
What, since the whole time?
Well,
Or since then?
prior to
I don't know.
your conversation where
Omega.
she supposedly admitted to wanting to put a hit out.
A handful of times. I also spent a couple hours.
Whatever
with
it
her
is,
one day.
we'll figure it out.
Would you say you're friends with her?
Acquaintances. I was friendly with her. That day I spent a couple hours with her.
But your friends,
Sorry, I'm
you'd say you're
loud.
better friends with Mr. Finch?
Yeah, he's my boyfriend.
So as being his girlfriend, it would be your imperative to protect him over an acquaintance?
Yes, that's why I stopped him from doing it.
And yet you've never stopped him from committing any other attacks?
That is his own business. I'm not don't want to get involved with his business. And apart from that, apart from the situation where he tried to take a hit out, she tried to take a hit out on Layla through Finch, which I told him not to because Layla is my friend, my best friend. So that's the only time I've intervened. Other than that, it is his business. It is not my business. How he wants to make money in this city is his choice.
So Layla Lockhart is your best friend.
Yes.
So you'd want to protect her.
Yes.
So you'd be inclined to fabricate stories if it meant protecting
Objection,
her.
speculation.
Let me
Rebuttal?
rephrase.
Okay.
Would you lie to protect Miss Lockhart?
No.
I doubt that.
Your Honor, at this time, I would actually move to strike this witness as she has admitted to being a part of felony. She has witnessed her own boyfriend commit acts, and she admitted that he is a hitman, and thus she would have an imperative to commit crimes, and therefore I believe her testimony should be stricken.
Okay, let's sidebar. Buck, will you come up here?
No, go lawyer. Okay, I see you. Oh shit! What the hell's going on back
Y'all
here?
better not be punching each other back there. Stop horsing around.
I hope I got Evie's
Okay,
birthday
what's
right.
happening?
Hell yeah. Things are doing. My lawyer did that. He did that. She obviously has a.
This kid's gonna be over soon.
So sorry.
The lawyer's stretching as much as he can.
Out of curiosity, sir, are you one of the plaintiffs, or are you a junior attorney? Or...
I don't know him.
Okay. Are you actually on this case then, or are you just sort of shadowing right now?
Bit of both, I guess you would say.
Oh, fair enough. What's your name, if I may ask? Got it. Alright. Name is Donnie Crane. I'm ADA. You you looking to do defense or prosecution or no idea?
So obviously to get my bar, we'll have to do both sides and kind of see what tickles my fancy more.
Yeah, that's fair. It's part of the changes in the program is so that people can try out both sides and feel it out.
Yeah, I like it. I'm taking
Who's
it slow,
this?
Like even just being here, it's my first case, so I'm doing a lot of watching. Maybe give a little word to Titus if I see something, like the one objection, for example, that happened earlier. But
Yeah, I've noticed Mr. Stringhammer is going a little ham on the objections to the point of just shotgunning them.
yeah, sometimes it's best to just let objections fly. It may work in your favor, especially.
Yeah, as long as you choose the right objection, of course.
I mean, by fly, I mean just let it go.
Yeah, that's fair.
She's on her phone, like, yeah, whatever. Like,
if I was
I
leaving
know what
case
I'm
one,
talking
I'll
about.
probably, I don't know. Actually, I'd either get in the flow of it after a few minutes, or no, I'd probably get in the flow of it after a few minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, it definitely feels like both sides are a little uncertain as to what the strategy is.
Yeah.
To be fair, you don't really see restraining order cases that often, so I suppose it's not that surprising.
I can't blame the client for wanting one.
Yep. Well, if you once you are feeling more comfortable and you need a district attorney's office case, feel free to reach out to me or District Attorney Hollow.
Right, appreciate it very much.
Do you agree with him?
Have you ever spoken with any other clients
I'm not sure
of your
which side I
boyfriend's?
agree with.
Objection scope.
No. Sorry.
It's well within the scope. Is she's stated that her boyfriend is a hitman and that he's received multiple calls for people wanting hits.
Again, it wasn't in my line of questioning.
You did talk to you in his questions. She did admit to her boyfriend being a hitman and taking a call for a contract from my client. So any and all contracts would be within the scope.
From my,
What was the original question again?
he needs to drop this because she's admitting.
I asked if she had been around when her boyfriend had taken any other contracts via phone call.
I'm gonna overrule.
Oh.
I guess he's just standing in. I guess you can. I'm not sure how.
Have you ever been present when your boyfriend had taken a contract?
Objection asked and answered.
Outside of Miss Quinn's.
Yeah, let him finish the question. Overruled.
Okay, now I will object asked and answered.
I overcooked.
Based
this.
on what question?
I've already asked her that she was in his presence while he works and often overhears calls. I've already asked this question.
Okay, this is regarding contracts specifically. So again, I'm gonna overrule.
If she's out.
Have you ever been with your boyfriend for any other contracts?
True, true.
I was there after one contract.
Have you ever met with any of his clients after a contract was agreed upon?
Yes, the exact same contract.
Have they ever told you that they were just joking?
No,
Have they ever rescinded the contract?
no.
I overcooked this pork. It's unfortunate.
I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Would you like to redirect?
So you think if she's
No.
out, there's nothing
gonna be recalling this
defending
witness,
the
sir?
dude?
No, Your Honor.
Well, Evie's not
All right,
getting
ma'am,
sued.
you may step down. You do not have to stay here if you don't wish. But if you want to continue
I
and
don't
watch,
think.
then you're welcome to do so.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Evie took this to court to fight the
Okay,
restraining
for
order. I don't know
Leonardo, what's he?
if they're
witness to
suing now. I don't
specifically?
know.
Leonardo was present during the face-to-face meeting where the lines of relationships were clearly drawn and can speak towards that.
Okay, how many more witnesses do you have?
Him and Beatrice.
Who's
Okay, and Miss
him?
Beatrice was a witness to.
What is she a witness to?
She also received an offer to harm Jonathan and
Lies.
All right, let's just get it both up here then.
That's not
Pick
true.
whichever one you want to call next.
Mr.
Leonardo.
Who was the last
Speed
witness?
this up.
All right.
Uh,
I have a junior
she
attorney here,
was
Mr.
a-
DeLuca. Is
she
it
was an
okay if you question
assassin's,
this witness?
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah, do you know her
Alright.
name?
Okay, pause.
do not
I've already established that your so-called DeLuca is to be referred to as Amish lumberjack boy.
Okay. Amish lumberjack boy, you're up.
Thank you.
Is it Amish or Omish?
It's Amish.
It's don't
I
waste
just-
my time. I got a meeting in an hour and 15 minutes. That's what it's called now. Raise your hand, sir.
Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your knowledge and the penalties of perjury? So help you, Toby.
I do.
All right. So, what would you say is your relationship with Mr. Jonathan Wright and his significant other?
Well, Jonathan is my therapist, and Layla is a very close friend of mine.
How much time would you say that you spend with them daily?
Mr. Amish boy, you better face this man.
Oh,
All right. Now, hold on. You're leading him. So rephrase your question. Just ask
Do
him
you
how much
spend-
time do you spend? Or have you spent?
Don't
Oh.
help him.
Apologies. How much time have you spent
that.
with Mr.
Objection
Jonathan, his
leading.
significant other?
Again, that's the same question. It's still leading.
And okay, Amish boy or Titus, what's your rebuttal?
I can rephrase if you wish.
No, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna learn how to rebut. Either yourself is gonna rebut or Mr. Titus is gonna rebut.
Okay. Let's say I rephrase it to do you. It's just a simple question, and it's gonna be answered with the simple fact of the frequency that they are together.
Okay, and defense, what is your rebuttal?
I did not hear all of it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna sustain it right now. I don't find this to be leading. He's simply asking how much time he has spent with the two individuals. So go ahead and answer that, sir.
Sati, you want to overrule it? You said
Overruled.
sustain.
Oh, you know what I meant.
It's overruled. Please.
Again, I'm confused. So go ahead and re-ask your question, sir.
So, how much time do you spend with Mr. Jonathan Wright and his significant other, Layla Lockhart?
I spend a lot of time with Layla. I haven't had the
Joke.
pleasure of spending as much time with Jonathan, though.
Were you present at the meeting in which Jonathan tried to strain things up with Evie Quinn?
Yes.
Who is asking questions?
Did anything unique happen at this meeting with regards to the behavior of Evie.
Thank you, Stav.
Evie seemed clingy, and she went to hug Jonathan.
Objection. Opinion of a layperson.
How do you know? You're not a psychologist. She seemed
I believe
clingy.
it's just simply his view. I mean, anybody is able to view how a normal person will act in society to another, especially in a situation where there's a professional relationship.
Is the volumes okay, y'all?
Okay, I'm gonna sustain because you're also
I hope
leading,
so.
and you are asking him to describe specific behaviors.
Yep.
I think you can reword this.
Okay. Just give me 1 second, please. So,
I don't know. I don't think the witnesses are really helpful, to be honest, from my point of view.
how did the Evie approach Mr. Jonathan?
He does have a lot of lawyers.
Uh,
Seems like.
at one point, she went to hug him, and he didn't want her to do that. He refused the hug, and he told her that he didn't want that kind of attention from her.
And what was Evie's reaction to being told this?
She
Objection. Speculation.
He can simply describe how her reaction was in a way of physically, or if she would have verbally said anything. It's not necessarily going to be speculative if there was if she had said anything, or perhaps taken a step back, so forth.
Okay, I'm gonna sustain. Be specific in your question. If you're asking him if she said anything, then ask him that.
Okay. Okay. Once Jonathan had rejected this, did Evie say anything?
Well, she was asking for another chance, and it just seemed like she wouldn't take no for an answer.
Okay.
What? She walked
Have
away.
you
What's he talking
and
about?
Miss Evie met up in any way since this described first meeting?
She's approached me several times.
And what did you discuss?
Well, she came to me and said she wanted to be friends. She said she wanted to apologize to Layla and John and make things. She wanted to fix things, but I didn't think that was possible. And I didn't want to be friends with her because I considered her a danger to my friends. And she's even brought friends with her, and she told these people things that made them kind of aggressive towards me.
Okay. Has there been any actions that made you believe she would be a danger to your friends, being Jonathan and Miss Lockhart?
The constant tweets, the constantly harassing me and my friends. You know, her having, like, bringing people with her to meet me, and
What?
they come at me aggressively, and
What? What?
I have to explain to them that she's she's behaved like this before.
I've never done that to him, but okay.
That
Evie hasn't.
she gets people to believe her side of the story, and they don't really consider the other side. And
Oh, really?
and then I have to deal with these people being aggressive towards me.
When you say she has behaved like this before, is that in relation to a separate incident?
Objection, relevance.
Rebuttal.
I believe it can be relevant, as is can show that this is not just a one-off thing that could be portrayed, that Mr. Jonathan isn't at fault if it has happened before with history.
And what was your question, sir?
The question was regarding to his answer, where he mentioned it had happened previously, it being the behavior of Miss Evie.
And what was your question?
I was asking if it was separate to this incident.
Okay, and hold on, sir. And defense, what is your rebuttal?
I'm going to withdraw at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead and answer that, sir.
Do you want me to ask again? Are you okay?
Yeah, can you ask again, please?
Okay. So, with Miss Evie's, you mentioned Miss Evie's previous behavior. Was that separate to the incident that we're discussing today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does.
Yes, it happened after. Happened after the meeting at the office.
What had happened?
Oh, the judge? I don't know. Not the lady. I don't know if the lady does. I don't know her name.
Like I said, she approached me, trying to tell me she wanted to be friends, and she had friends with
the
her.
guy in the
and
suit,
they were
the cream suit,
aggressive.
the judge who picked Evie up does.
Okay. And one final question. If you just give me a second to think of the wording of it,
Let me
please.
see who's streaming so I can shout people out. I'm not gonna watch your stream. I'm just gonna see if I can shout people out, I guess. Oh, my
Have you
shit's
seen a change
Never
in
mind.
the, let's
Never
say,
mind.
the daily routine of Mr. Jonathan ever since this incident with the meeting?
Objection, speculation.
Your Honor, I believe if he spent so much
Speculating that
time
he
with him,
changed his
especially in a
routine.
professional capacity and also with Miss Lockhart, he would be spending more than enough time with them than to answer this.
I'm going to sustain, and I think you can rephrase.
Okay. Have you been able to have frequent meetings with Mr. Jonathan since this incident?
No,
Where is this going? Like,
I couldn't see him professionally. I couldn't make therapy appointments with him because he hasn't been working because of this incident.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions I wish to ask.
All right, go ahead and cross.
sorry, y'all. Sorry.
What constitutes a threatening person to you?
Someone who brings friends that
What friends have I brought?
shout and yell at me.
Oops. Sorry, y'all.
And assume
I'm the loudest background
my,
streamer
my,
ever. Forgive
intentions from that, like, only that person's point of view and not mine.
Would someone who's a hitman be considered a threat to you?
Objection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it's the scope. I didn't specifically ask about hitman.
I'm asking what constitutes a threat to him from as a person, since he's considering my client a threat. I'm trying to gather what he considers a threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had answered that in the original question. With this question, you specifically asked about a hitman, and a hitman was not mentioned unless your client is a hitman.
Okay, I'm going to sustain.
Let me rephrase. I think rephrasing it may fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Would a hitman be a threatening person to you?
Objection.
Mm-hmm.
The same. It's not in scope, but it's also speculative because. No, I'm gonna stick with not in scope. Again, it's bringing up a hitman. It has not been mentioned.
I agree. This wasn't brought up. If you'd like to ask him anything about that, go ahead and recall him sustained.
How many sessions have you had with Mr. Wright prior to this incident?
Is this about him or what?
I believe 3.
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
How many times have you hung out with Miss Lockhart?
Many times.
Sorry, y'all.
What is your view of Miss Lockhart?
I think she's a great friend.
How did you meet Miss Lockhart?
We met at the
Objection
observatory.
relevance? I don't see how this is necessarily relevant.
Overruled. You did ask him questions about it, so I'd like to know.
Okay.
Could you please answer that question again? How did you meet Miss Lockhart?
We met at the observatory.
Thank you, Lisi. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm
We had a
always moving.
conversation and
ADHD for you.
we
Okay.
hung out after that, and we just became friends.
Was this prior to your sessions with Mr. Wright, or was this after?
Somewhere in the
Objection,
middle.
confusing question or compound then, since he's answered.
All right, I'll rephrase. Did you meet Miss Lockhart before or after your sessions with Mr. Wright?
Maybe after 1 or 2 sessions.
Did you know that they were dating when you two had become friends?
Yeah, she mentioned that because I happened to mention him in the first conversation we had.
Do you consider Mr. Wright to be your friend?
I haven't been able to hang out with him very much. He's a busy man, but I would like to believe we could be friends.
Uh-oh, see, she's right. What about what?
How close would you say you and Layla are?
Pretty close.
Would you be willing to protect her?
Yes, I would.
Would you be willing to go to extreme lengths to protect her?
I'd die
Objection,
for
that's an answer. You already said he'd be willing to protect the extreme lengths. Is it
And I'm
necessary?
asking a specific, his limit.
Overruled.
Then it,
Could you please answer that question again? To what lengths would you go for Miss Lockhart?
I would die for her.
Would you be willing to kill for her?
I think it's the
Objection, this is
same.
a
Like, if
bit
you're willing to
extreme.
kill, you're willing to...
I'm gonna say
You're willing to die, you're willing to kill,
it's
right?
gonna be a little bit.
He had just admitted that he would die for her. I'm asking if he would be willing to do anything else.
And what is the relevance of asking this witness that question?
Has to do with his beliefs about Miss Lockhart, his how closely he holds her.
Is there any evidence to suggest, or is there any testimony that you're going to bring forth suggesting that this individual had anything to do with attempting to take anyone's life on her behalf?
That he would be protecting her by slandering my client, Your Honor, is where I'm trying to go.
Okay, I'm going to sustain them because I don't think that bringing a murder would help you in any way, and it's definitely not going to help me. So.
All right, then I have no more questions this time, Your Honor.
All right, you going to be recalling this witness?
Nope.
All right, would you like to redirect?
No, Your Honor.
The Amish farm
Go
boy
ahead.
is sounds good.
Yeah, go ahead and sit down.
All right. Last witness is Beatrice.
All right, get up here. Where's my bailiff? He over there taking a dookie.
All right.
Of course, Tara.
Hurry up.
I didn't want
do you want me
to
to
talk
be the
over
bailiff?
everyone and distract the...
No, Reed, I don't want you to
yeah.
be the bailiff.
I hope that explains it. I should have pre-did that before the court
Judge
date.
Stanton.
Hey,
Go
how's
around.
it going? Watch the glass. Got all the way around. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There you go. All right, raise your hand. Do you swear? Hurry up. Raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalties of perjury? So help you. Rated.
I do.
All right, go ahead.
All right, Beatrice. What do you do for work in the city?
I'm a witch. I work in the cemetery. I help people with spells, charms, enchantments, things like that.
Are potions something that you do as well?
Yes.
What kind of potions do you do?
Health potions, things to help people. It depends on what they want. I try and create what they like.
Does anyone ever ask you for a love potion?
Yes, many times.
And what do you tell them when they ask you that?
I always tell them, and I'm very firm about this, that I do not ever make love potions because it's the same as mind control, and I don't want any part in manipulating somebody like that.
Has Beatrice ever asked you to make her a love potion?
I'm Beatrice.
Sorry, apologies, Beatrice. Has Evie ever asked you to make her a love potion?
Yes, she has. The first time we met, she straight up asked for a love potion and admitted that she wanted to force somebody to love her.
Did she indicate who that somebody was?
She did not.
Okay, no
she
further
did
questions.
not. See, Evie did not say who, yo. I appreciate them not lying. Because Evie's report, she's not lying in her report. She just...
Now, you've said that you refuse to make love potions. Have you ever made one prior?
No.
Evie just misses out on
Do
words.
you have
She
any
doesn't say
fellow
everything.
witches that have ever made a love potion?
Objection scope.
Lawyer doesn't know
was
we were going to
overruled. I
work
wanna hear
together.
it.
Evie and Beatrice were going to work together.
Do you know in your capacity as a witch if love spells or love potions actually work?
She believes they work, or
Yes,
she would do them,
they
right?
do, but not in the way people think. It's not love. It's more obsession. It's not real.
But you've never made one, and you don't know anyone who makes one. So how would you know if they work in any fashion?
The history of witchcraft. I read. I make sure I research. I know what I'm talking about.
Now you said you don't do mind control, but have you ever in your studies as a witch?
No.
Have any witches you
Objection
known?
relevance.
Oh,
He literally.
I want to hear it.
Have you ever had any witch colleagues use mind control?
I have not.
Can you prove that mind control actually works?
Proof? No, I can't.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Yes,
like to cross-
lawyer,
I'm
we
sorry, redirect?
stand.
No, I'm good.
Would you like to recall this witness?
No, I would not, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. You may step down. Thank you for your service.
She said, "Thank you for your service. Goodbye."
All right. Is that the end of your witnesses?
Yep.
Okay. You gonna be going over anything, Titus? Any evidence?
Nothing that hasn't already been discussed upon. All the civilian reports and images of notes, texts, and tweets have already been listed in on the docket
Great.
and brought up
Defense.
in here.
Do you
At this
rest her?
time, can I?
Yes.
I'd like to. Oh, sorry, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I'd like to recall Miss Layla Lockhart.
All right, Layla. Reminder: you are sworn in, ma'am.
That cherry.
Hey, what part are we on? Are we on defense side or are we still on plaintiff side?
No, we're on defense now. Damn.
All right, great.
Talk to that witch back there.
Right?
Miss Lockhart, are you a social media user?
His side's
Very
bigger,
rarely.
but it doesn't matter.
But you do use like the Twatter and stuff like that?
You can dismiss
Usually when I
witnesses,
wake up
and
in the
evidence
morning,
is
I like to say
important.
good morning to my friends before I start my day.
Have you ever posted anything in the heat of the moment? Something that you'd regret?
No.
Evie in Evie's report, she said that he had the loss threaten her, so it's good they are here. You know. Because they did.
Do
They
you recall
told her to
meeting
stay
my
away.
client at the hospital?
At the hospital?
Objection,
Pillbox.
vague.
Do you recall a meeting with my client at Pillbox?
Outside the front of Pillbox? Yes.
It's storming.
Do you
Shit.
recall anything in particular of the conversation?
Upon first meeting her, she asked me if I was Layla. I said yes. And she said to me, "Oh, so you are a real person then?"
Yeah, she did.
Did Miss Quinn talk to you about your
You
boyfriend's
can hear his
behavior
dog. It's cute.
at their first session?
Could you be more specific about behavior?
Did she tell you about Mr. Wright complimenting her attractiveness?
She did mention that, yes.
Did she tell you that her feelings about his forwardness?
No.
How many of your boyfriend's clients are you friends with?
I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I do not know many of who Jonathan's clients are, unless they've specifically said to me that they know him. There could be more, there could be less. I would only be able to approximate.
Do you have any friends
Is
that
Kat here?
are clients of your
I
boyfriend?
don't think Kat is here. I
Objection,
don't know who that
relevance.
is.
Rebuttal.
I'm going to withdraw that question, Your Honor.
Okay.
I actually have no more questions at this time.
Would you like to cross?
So that's pointless then.
Sure.
Look at Evie. She's so cute.
During the conversation that was mentioned, did you make you reiterate your wishes and Jonathan's wishes to Miss Evie?
Regarding what specifically, Titus?
The boundaries of your relationships?
Am I allowed to answer this however I want, Your Honor?
Yeah, I don't mind.
When I first met Evie, she told me that she was the one that was in the relationship with Jonathan. That I was being played by him and that he was being unfaithful, that he was involved with several of her friends as well. And I told her in no uncertain terms that I knew that to be a lie and to be untrue because we are in a very stable, committed, honest relationship with one another. And I know Jonathan as a person that he would never do such a thing.
Okay, that's all I have, but I think my co-counsel mentioned he had something.
Get up here, Amish boy.
I'm all good, thank you.
Come on, Amish boy, get up there.
Do you have any questions, sir?
Squeeze his ass. What are they doing back there?
All right.
I feel uncomfortable.
Don't feel uncomfortable. They're just trying to destroy your character. They're trying to slander
During
you.
your first interaction
okay.
with Miss Evie, did you have any fear for her?
For her or about her?
Oh.
Of her?
Well, she wasn't brought up to be a
Yes,
witness in the
during
documents,
the
so I don't know.
interaction in the psychology office.
Once you had met,
You have to summon
at
witnesses.
I believe it was
I believe.
Pillbox.
Mm-hmm.
Include them, I guess. And the lawyer has to include
Did
the
you have
witnesses.
fear of her then also?
Not immediately. I had concern for her.
Motion to add
She
following
seemed
witnesses, yeah.
almost hysterical. I wasn't really sure why at the time. Then in
Not
the
here, don't
psychology
matter.
office, when she attempted to grab onto Jonathan, and she was definitely hysterical at the time and seemed rather unstable.
Unstable?
And he had removed himself from the situation. I had approached her and said that I was sorry that all of this had happened and that I hoped she would be okay and that I'm sure she would understand my asking her to stay away from Jonathan would probably be for the best. She turned around and explained to me that she hated me.
And do you recall when your concern turned to fear?
It was the day after that first meeting. I had woken for the day. I checked my text messages before I begin work. There was a text message from a friend letting me know that Evie had approached him and offered him money for me to be killed.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all you wanna.
All right, you may step down, ma'am. Wait, was that cross? You may redirect if you'd like.
Miss Lockhart, have you ever contacted Miss Quinn? Sorry.
In what way?
Via social media.
No, I haven't.
So you've never tweeted at her?
At her? No.
Objection, argumentative.
I didn't hear what he said.
He said argumentative. Overruled.
Should I repeat my answer, Your Honor?
Yeah.
No, I've never directly tweeted at Evie Quinn at all.
Have you ever made mention of her in a tweet, even indirectly?
Shit, yeah, she did, but we don't have it.
How would you make mention of someone
Tweet at Evie to meet up
Without
with
tagging
her.
them. Without tagging them directly.
So, an example, please?
A subtweet. So-and-so will know it's coming to them without actually tagging them.
No, absolutely not.
Meg did that. He could have kicked her out by bringing that shit up.
I have no more questions at this time, Your
Oh,
Honor.
Hobbit trash. Okay, thank
All right,
you.
ma'am, you may step down. Go ahead and call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'd like to call Mr. Wright back up for recall.
All right, hurry up.
Mr. Wright, do you have contacts in the biker gang Lost MC?
I know people from all over the city.
I'm asking you specifically if you have any contacts in the Lost MC.
Asked
Yes,
and
I do.
answered. Objection.
This is a brand new line of questioning. Are you?
I mean, he literally just asked him and then repeated the question.
Yeah, he said I have contacts throughout the city. He didn't specifically answer what I'd asked.
Yeah, overruled.
Would you like me to ask you again?
Yes, please.
Do you have any contacts in the Lost MC biker gang?
I know people in the Lost, yes.
Would you consider them friends?
Not again. Sorry.
Some of them, yes.
Are they the type of friends that you could ask favors of?
If I needed to, maybe. I've never tried to ask them for any favors.
Have you ever encountered the Lost?
Leading.
And he had already answered it.
Yeah, overruled.
Have you ever been with the Lost MC when you encountered my client, Miss Quinn?
Objection leading.
Rebuttal.
I'll rephrase.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever hung out with members of the Lost MC in public?
Objection leading.
I do not believe that's leading. I am asking him to state if he's been with them in public.
Rebuttal.
My client works in the public. He made that abundantly clear. He could see all sorts of people in public.
I'm stating it as a friend, as in hanging out with a friend, which is why I asked if they were friends.
Okay, I'm gonna overrule.
Thank you, Harley.
I don't think this is leading at all.
I have been around members of the Lost, yes.
And have you seen Miss Evie Quinn when you were with them?
Yes.
Were those members aware of your history with Miss Quinn?
Objection leading.
It's not leading.
Okay, Titus, rebuttal.
He's giving testimony for the witness.
I'm asking him if he's...
What was your question?
I asked if they were aware of his situation with Miss Quinn. I don't understand how it's leading.
That's not. That's fine, I think. Do you know about?
I think there's a way you could reword this. You can ask him if he had made them aware. So I'm going to sustain.
All right. Did you make the members of the Lost MC aware of your encounters with Miss Quinn?
Miss Quinn made them aware.
No.
Did you ask them to intervene?
I did not need to.
Could you be more specific why you didn't need to ask them to intervene?
Because she pulled up in front of the car in a van and threatened my life. Directly in front of them.
And did any of the Lost MC members file a report to confirm this?
I don't know. You'd
This will
have
be
to
a
ask
good
them.
screenshot too. We're gonna make a little YouTube video after
No,
this.
you'd said
of the court
prior
cases.
that you had a session where Miss Quinn and several other people were in the session, yes?
No.
I do believe earlier he'd stated that he had brought Miss Quinn up and Miss Lockhart was also there, and I think one other witness.
That was not a session, Your Honor.
Yes, with Evie's had a session with.
Okay, what's your objection then?
I'm just.
Is it misstatement of testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
Evie's
And
having
your
a
rebuttal?
session with.
I will rephrase then.
Okay.
How many people were in the office when you'd brought Miss Evie up to have a conversation?
Objection. Misstatement of facts again.
He had testified earlier that multiple of them had come together when they were talking to Miss Quinn.
He testified that Miss Quinn was already upstairs. He did not bring her upstairs. She was already there. They wanted to meet in public. She was already there, and they went to meet her there.
Okay, defense.
Let me rephrase. How many people were in the office at the time of the meeting?
Objection. Asked and answered.
It's a new line of questions.
We've already answered this question. We've gone through the attendance at that meeting like 3 times already.
I'm going to overrule it.
Sorry, you want me to answer that, Your Honor?
Yes.
There was a total of 5 people in the room.
Was this just a casual conversation?
As stated before, this was the conversation where I was bringing Layla up to talk to Quinn and inform her for the last time before I went to the police that for her to stop texting me and harassing me over the phone.
Thank you, Pencil Jar.
And that at that point, I would
Thank you
also
for the
no
follow.
longer be able to see her as a doctor patient.
Had you ever spoken to her prior to this incident about possibly handing her over to another doctor?
I cannot recall.
That was the first time he mentioned that.
In your professional capacity, if you were to spring that you would no longer be treating someone, do people typically react well to that?
It all depends on the person. No one is the same.
If someone had suffered multiple
Objection.
traumas,
Speculative.
and he already answered.
Okay. He did already answer, so I'm going to overrule. Keep going.
Again, I will give the exact same answer. Everyone has different ways that they react to things.
Would someone who suffered multiple traumas react worse than others who maybe were seeking you for just casual help or for, normal? Let me rephrase here. Give me 1 second. Would someone who had suffered multiple traumas react worse than anyone just seeking general therapy?
Again, everyone acts differently.
But in your professional capacity, do people who suffer traumatic incidents have worse reactions?
Objection. Asked and answered.
I'm going to sustain based on leading.
And I have no more questions this time, Your Honor.
All right. Would you like to cross?
Do you have anything, Amish
Free.
Farm Boy?
Edward DeLuca does not.
We're good.
Sir, you may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead and call your next witness.
Can they question Evie? Like, can his lawyer question Evie on the stand?
this time, Your Honor, I have no more witnesses, but I would like to again reference case number 4562.
Uh-oh.
Well, your client did state on the docket that she does have a statement to make. Ma'am, do
you still want to talk?
still
I
wanna
mean,
do
you don't
that,
have
or-
to.
Not really.
At this time, Your Honor, my counsel withdraws that.
Okay. Okay. Do we need?
Would it help me?
I mean, I can add it to my closing
We need a
statement if you
recess?
want, but I think right now we're kind of
I'm
in a
good to
good
go.
spot.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. 5 minutes.
It's just late.
I think Evie could have helped.
We can help you with.
So I know Mr. Stringhammer has been shotgunning objections left and right, but when you're speaking to the judge, just make sure to exercise the utmost what's the term?
Reed, come over here.
Civility.
Yeah,
I trust me. I know Mr. Stringhammer has been intentionally trying to get under your skin.
Some of his objections and his rebuttals have been rather aggravating, as they lack any real merit.
I mean, he objected narrative based on a yes or no question.
Yeah, I've had a lot of questions of him today. Just his. Yeah, so I do apologize.
No, you're good.
Although I feel like I've gotten under his skin a bit too.
Yeah, I think both of you.
Yeah, well, seeing as all his every one of his witnesses, he brought in a witch. I mean,
I was dying during that.
Yeah, so I actually got to finish my my closing statement because I'm gonna hammer that one home too.
Holy shit, who?
Yep.
She
All right,
doesn't
thanks
sell
you.
love potions, you dick.
You wanna come with me, Miss Quinn?
Okay.
Who's got my love potions?
We need to talk to Layla.
How are you feeling right now?
I don't know. I hope you're right about me not saying anything. I'm pretty convincing.
Yeah. What my fear is with how they've been acting towards you, them purposely holding hands, them purposely kissing, is that they're trying to push you that you may become impassioned and something you say might be overreactionary, you know? Like they're trying to argue, like your tweet where they're trying to claim that you were going to burn their house down.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to bait you into saying something in the heat of the moment.
Right. Okay.
So.
You're right.
But I think you're doing a good job. Like I said, I believe we were good you not making a statement because I think they're trying to garner a reaction out of you, which clearly they can't. You know, like I said, their evidence is all circumstantial. Oh, we saw this text. Oh, we saw this tweet. That doesn't constitute a threat. You never actually said, "Hey, I'm going to kill you." It's a word of a hitman who is a criminal who would be prone to lying and deceit. So
that is so true. And that girl Meg said that her boyfriend does that. Like,
yeah, the fact that she admitted her boyfriend is a killer and that she has witnessed and not reported that makes her an accessory to every single crime he's ever committed. So
exactly. How do you think it's looking for us?
I think it's honestly very good. I got a closing statement I'm going to write. I think I'm going to seal it up pretty well.
Okay. Thank you so much. You're amazing. You're right. You know, I just didn't want to say anything wrong and get upset. Because I'm upset, you know, I love him.
Yeah, well, like I said, this wouldn't be the first time that I've witnessed people in a love triangle and someone get caught. And of course, he's going to protect her because, you know,
he's with her right now. And look at all those friends. I mean,
exactly. He has to save face. Otherwise, professionally, it would be bad on him. You know, I mean, they brought a client in who's friends with his girlfriend. That is kind of
weird.
Yeah,
why are they
it's a
all
conflict of
friends?
interest. It's a conflict of interest.
Does he sit around in a circle and give them all therapy and then hang out with them after?
Yeah, typically therapists don't become friends
with their
client.
Yeah. And
they typically
and yet
don't
I'm the
make,
bad guy because
and they typically don't make flirtatious comments either. That's rather unprofessional.
Right.
Even if he just woke up.
Right. He did say I was attractive. He did, and that is not a lie.
Yeah, well, like I said, I believe that this restraining order is based all on circumstantial evidence and hearsay. So. All right. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna finish putting my closing statement together, and we should be good.
Okay. Just so you know, it's really storming in my head. So in case I go poof.
All right. I will. If it happens, I'll let them know. But thank you for that heads up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see. Do I have to write a clothing statement or no?
Nope. That's just me. I'm just gonna put basically everything we've talked about into 1-2 paragraphs, but I'm usually pretty good at closings. So.
Okay. All right.
Reed, he says he's in Woodsick.
Jesus Christ.
He's running. He's a
Dude,
flight
I
risk.
feel like I'm gonna lose power. Should I go back in there?
You can, or you can stay out here with me. Whatever you feel safest for you.
Okay. Evie's gonna walk around for a little.
Amish lumberjack boy.
Hi, Katya. I like seeing you. I don't see you enough.
Flashbang out.
Ass.
Wow.
Well, it's not wide so.
That was
Sometimes I do behave well. Kind of sucks.
I did.
Omish.
It's
Agreed.
Omish.
Yeah,
It's Omish, not Amish.
Yeah, Omish lumberjack boy. Yeah, I spelled Amish wrong. I don't ever see the word Amish.
I know what you're trying to do, but I gotta stand here and watch it too.
I do.
Wait.
What doesn't?
What are we trying to?
What's happening?
Okay, you
Making
don't
out
see
shit
the
on
Amish
me.
that often.
No, I'm not gonna
Soft
speak.
O.
I know,
Because they don't
right?
use technology.
Amish.
Keep making out.
I broke out when I got my year break,
Just do it.
so I don't want to go back.
30 minutes.
So I hear you want to get to Jonathan. $100 and I'll make it happen.
Oh god, what's Reed doing? Reed, what are you doing?
Why? I don't care about Jonathan. What's Jonathan done for me? Listen, what's Jonathan done for me?
Shut the fuck up.
Stay away from me.
Ditto.
Yeah, Reed,
One of the friends just came up to me and said $100 and I'll get to Jonathan for you because I don't care about him really loudly.
Did any of the lawyers hear it?
I don't know.
All right. Unfortunately, I can't really add that to my closing statement, and it'll kind of be thrown out. But I would just ignore them. Just, I don't know. Check
Dang,
Twitter,
y'all,
but I
it's
would just ignore them
storming
because they're
right
going to try and
now.
bait
It's
you
crazy.
to reacting in the courthouse.
I've never heard this. Okay. I've never heard so much thunder in like months.
what if we talk to a
And
judge?
flashes of light.
Your Honor. How much to get Owen Dundee 5115?
They're talking about Irwin now.
Dumb piece of shit.
You're better off that way, Your Honor.
I think I heard it.
Yeah, he's stupid. But we'll pay well if he can
Heard
do
what?
it.
Exactly. We paid Stanton well for that verdict. We'll pay you just as well.
Dude. This is crazy outside right now. I really think I'm gonna lose power.
5150 after all.
I'm
So
sorry,
hopefully
that
we
was a
can
joke.
stay-
It might not have been funny to anyone but me.
Sorry, Vlad.
Do y'all hear that shit? I'm kind of scared right now.
Ron, I
What
got
the
whiskey.
fuck? I've never seen this much flashes of lightning.
Vlad's
Probably
really
half
on
a
hard
sandwich,
times. He
knowing
can't
him.
afford sandwiches.
Holy fuck.
GTR Gerald.
Oh, what if? Okay, how about this? What if we get Vlad's ID planning on him, then we can get 2 cuts of 75k.
No, I like it.
I didn't say anything.
Yo, I'm legit scared right now. I'm legit scared for my life right now.
Forget the name of the DA.
I was about to say, when did it get? Girl,
The
it's
judges
so loud we
request
can
you
hear it.
guys
Oh,
inside.
sorry,
Well,
Larry. How
I'm pretty sure there's a news article about him sleeping with the chief of police.
Oh my
Yeah, just heads
god.
up, the judges spoke to you.
Dude, I'm kind of usually I'm cool about it, but I'm kind of nervous about the weather right now.
Yeah, they're just talking in a corner right now. I think they'll be assault.
All right, let's go.
I can feel the ground shaking.
Okay.
Have you guys checked the Weasel News?
Good.
2020 plague, fires,
Okay.
floods, storms. Hey, bunny.
All right, so today you guys have heard
I got
about the
updated
potential
quick.
danger that Miss Evie Quinn's behavior has brought to Mr. Jonathan Wright's life. It's already caused significant issues to both his professional, personal, private, and free time. And the threats to him continue to mount. Murder for hire, home invasion, and arson. These are very significant threats. And I urge, while no one is guilty until
hide in a
they commit
bathtub.
crime, I urge this court not to stand idly by and allow any of these consistent, specific, and very real threats come to fruition. Ms. Quinn has only escalated her behavior since the original filing of this case, and it's clear that she has no interest to change. I
Oh, that's the
believe
lawyer.
it's this court's duty to put on clear restrictions in terms of how she is allowed to interact with Mr. Wright moving forward. Thank you.
Well said.
All right. Defense.
Mr. Wright wants you to believe that he is the victim of a stalker. His team wants the courts to believe that my client left notes in and around his house. But Mr. Wright is not a handwriting expert, nor was he able to provide anything in her handwriting except the notes she supposedly left. Mr. Wright has no proof that my client left those notes, when in fact they were left as a way to discredit and smear my client in an attempt to cover up his own infidelity.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Wright claims my client sent him texts, but has no evidence or phone number to prove that they came from my client. They claim a tweet that she sent was a threat, but it can be easily taken out of context. Mr. Wright has friends in a motorcycle gang that he said would be willing to do him favors. Mr. Wright wants you to believe that my client contracted a witch to make a potion, but she has never successfully made one, nor knows of anyone that has made one successfully. The evidence provided has been circumstantial at best, and
Go
opinions
lawyer.
of those closest to Mr. Wright who would be inclined to protect him and slander my client to benefit himself and his girlfriend, who they are all close friends with. Evie Quinn is a woman who has been trying to survive in Los Santos, only to have several tragic events befall her, only to meet Mr. Wright and be led on to believe that there was something more. By making flirtatious comments and starting a love triangle that would rope a vulnerable woman into falling for him when he himself admitted to having a girlfriend. His attempts are merely to slander and discredit my client as a way to save face in a love triangle that he himself started.
All right. Before I go and deliberate, defense, I have a question. Does your client want to continue as a client, Mr. Wright?
Is that to me?
I know she asked Mr. Wright, I believe.
Oh.
No, I'm asking you, sir. Does your client want to continue to be a client of Mr. Wright?
Do you want to continue being a client of Mr. Wright's?
Yes.
Yes, she does, Your Honor.
Okay. And is that the reason for not wanting this restraining order?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go deliberate. Buck, stop playing around.
My bad.
Hey, Psych, can I talk to you?
Yeah, you got two. Yeah, I was gonna talk to you.
Casual exorcism. She cut them eyes hard. You know she
You realize
did.
you just threatened a member of the DA's office, yes?
No, he did not. He
I am
spoke
not
out
a
of turn. He was
gang member.
talking to me. Come with me.
I am not a gang. I will not be called a gang.
Hey, yeah, hey.
Nicer than he just kind of flipped it a little bit there, but yeah, it was actually in there.
The judge isn't watching. It's fine.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Don't come over
What do you want?
here. Huh?
What you want? What'd you say?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
All right.
inclined to
Probably the
testify
girlfriend.
to the benefit of.
All right, y'all.
All right, shush it.
Voting time. How do y'all think this is?
Oh,
sorry.
Jesus.
It's an accident.
Accident.
Um,
Evie just soccer punches the other lawyer on accident. That was an accident, y'all.
We're fine.
The brightness.
no.
Oh, okay, so it's not just me that sees that.
Just can you give us a second?
Okay.
Standard. Thank you.
Yeah, it's related to.
Oh, I understand. Thank you for the follow, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the girlfriend is standing right there with the long hair.
possessed.
I like my lawyer. I really am. I'm really confident about my lawyer for Evie. I feel like, we'll continue to be Jonathan Wright's client. And they'll if they're like not sure. I feel great about it, y'all. So I'm gonna do great. Thank you, Melanin. I feel great about it, honestly. I think that they have a lot of people, but the evidence. I mean,
So you want to continue being
for me, you can't.
a
No, you
patient
don't.
for him?
I mean, yes,
Oh God.
he's one of the best doctors in the city.
Okay.
And
Look, just keep arm lengths away, all right?
what do you mean?
Like you need to back up.
Oh,
I'm walking away.
sorry.
I'm
What?
walking away. You are terrifying.
Interesting.
What?
Also
You are absolutely
disgusting.
terrifying.
What?
Welcome to being lonely, Your Honor.
Well, there's lonely and then there's depraved.
That was dark.
Listen, before that, he was fucking 2 bits of ham between some cellophane, alright?
Shocking. Shocking.
I ate the ham afterwards too.
You did try to set the
Oh, you
judges.
don't always get
Okay,
ham.
yes. Evie did try to set the judge's car on fire, but that's irrelevant
I
to
mean,
this
you wipe
case.
it off first.
Thank you for the follows, everyone. The dude in the yellow top.
I cleaned
He's
it.
over here trying to slander Evie too with those comments.
No, I wipe it off.
So thank
disgusting.
you, Nat Melanin. Wraps arms around waist.
Natty, you have weird friends.
They're not my fucking friends.
You say that, but
I'm ready. I'm back again.
No, my name's Edward.
Did you
DeLuca.
eat someone
No,
the other
sorry.
Don't worry about it then. Don't worry about it.
No.
Go ask
I
Stan
did
what my
actually. I
name is.
actually did eat some the other day. I went to Parsons for it.
Rudy, I fucking hate you. I actually thought this was Ivanov for half a second.
It is Ivanov.
He just.
Where's Jonathan at?
Wait.
Yeah.
How did you know I ate someone the
Oh,
other
my
day?
brain. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were about in
Oh,
the court
great,
case. I was like, I think
yay.
I did horrific. I know I didn't. do
If
too
not
good.
sure is like you don't really know what's going on. It's fine. Basically, to run down,
Yes,
Evie
absolutely.
saw Jonathan Wright, and they only had one session, but she fell for him.
trapped in there
She
for
took his
6 months.
compliments of her cat ears, headband, and her way she looked. She asked him, "Do you find me attractive?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're." She's like, "Do you think I'm pretty?" He's like, "Yeah, you're attractive." Anyways, she took that to heart, and she like fell for him or whatever. Like she's obsessed with him, right? And she has
What if you
he
start
has a
thinking you're
girlfriend.
Ivanov?
She's also testified to.
Basically, Evie's just trying to like. She's
seen him commit the contract.
Why aren't you
hired-
wearing socks?
Sorry, I get distracted when people talk in my ear, but
boyfriends.
she has sent texts and went to the
do you
house
mean air it
and
out? It's
left
gonna be a
notes
slip and
everywhere.
slide
She's
in
done
there.
all of that. But when she found out he was trying to get a restraining order, oops, sorry y'all. When she found out he was trying to get a restraining order, she wanted to fight it. So she got a lawyer, Jacob Slate, which is back there, doing the damn thing, doing
You
the
know what I
damn
just realized?
thing.
Jonathan is really
But
fucking
yeah,
short.
she just wants Layla to go
You're like
away,
gazpacho.
and Evie just believes like her and Jonathan are in love, and they're meant to be, and they're soulmates, and
Not
true.
true.
Evie's
got to
be petty. Okay, we have
have
Evie's a petty ass bitch, and she's gonna take this shit to
No.
court so that she can continue to see Jonathan or not have a restraining order and have to stay away from him.
Honestly,
But she has chased
Listen, I've
Jonathan
killed
and
one lawyer in the
rammed
past,
him
not afraid to
because she
kill
wants him
second
to
one.
talk to her. She wants to be with him. So hopefully
the
that clears everything up. I don't know how else to say it.
What are you, paralegal?
Evie's being a petty ass. She's being a petty ass bitch. About to get away with it too. Hell yeah, she is. She did a lot of stuff, y'all. She paid someone $2,000 to kill. She has left notes every day. She has threatened a girlfriend. She's talked to the girlfriend. She has done all the things. She's left tweets. Yesterday, she set the backyard on fire at the house. So she's done a lot of fucking things. Yes, Evie has done all of this.
I feel like I'm in NA hours. Shit! This explains a lot.
Dummy.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
just?
Yeah.
The earliest for me.
Oh, hi.
You're
Hi,
doing
Layla.
really well.
You look nice today.
Oh wait, is Evie stalking Jonathan or Layla?
Jonathan.
That's much less hot.
he brought her over there.
Indeed.
I don't
Seriously,
know.
who puts a tattoo on the back of their neck? Like, what an asshole.
All right.
Layla's his
I got this
girlfriend.
from the first time I robbed the vault.
Evie's been trying to get rid of Layla.
You're doing great.
The fuck is this
She's
supposed to be?
super
A
still
carousel?
there.
No, they're gold bars.
It's what?
Pretty cool that you're part of this.
In what way is that gold bar?
I got it in prison.
I can tell.
Hopefully we can get in at the
Hopefully we got
restart,
that
but if
again.
it goes over, we're not gonna get in.
I'm sorry that all my tattoos actually have meaning.
Yeah, right on your face, so everyone knows you're not Ivanov.
So the
Shut up, Ivanov.
results are in. 8 people said great, 2 not sure. Well, we'll see. We will see.
Oh fuck! I don't have them here.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see.
Shut up, you dozy cunt.
Get checked.
They're fucking there. This city's old.
No, they're not. I don't see them. What are you talking about? You look pristine.
Get God. Get God.
The court case ends and your burns instantly disappear. Wow. Okay.
If y'all want to see the evidence,
Shut up.
here
The
you go.
mustache is there too. I
For the
just
new
forgot,
ones,
alright?
new people. Okay.
Give me a
What are we
second.
waiting for? What's going on?
She was deliberating.
So are they going over the evidence and stuff?
Yes, so I think we're waiting on her, the other lawyer.
So yeah,
Maybe he
basically
fled the
Evie's
city because he
guilty,
has no
but you know, that's why there's a court system so that you can fight things.
No, there
and-
it is.
I'm so excited right now. All right. Let's see what happens. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? The moment of truth. That's right, Petty. That's right. Is Evie gonna get away with stalking
right.
Jonathan?
There's a lot here.
There's a lot. Oh.
Usually you would think that restraining orders would be pretty easy.
They're not actually. They're
but
very difficult to
there
get.
is there is a preponderance of evidence that does need to be met when it comes to restraining orders. Now, I have these text messages and these tweets and things. As far as physical evidence goes, I don't have a phone number here.
Yes.
And I see that after the last message was sent, I don't have any other messages. I do have some eyewitness testimony. I have a lot of eyewitness testimony.
Thanks, McBeeps. I try.
The one thing that worries me, defense attorney, what is your name?
Jacob Slate, ma'am.
Slate.
Yes, Your Honor.
The one thing that worries me, Mr. Slate, is that even after all of this, your client still would like to have contact with Mr. Wright. After
No.
he himself is making it very clear today that that is something he no longer wishes to have with her as a client or as a person, period.
The one thing Evie
So
says.
while I will say that there's a lot of evidence here that's is a little bit circumstantial.
The one thing Evie says.
Eyewitness testimony, and for whatever reason, your client still wants to have contact with him. So, in a normal case, I might grant a temporary protective hold or restraining order. Excuse me. Protective is for family or domestic. I I think in this case, what I'm going to do is grant a 2-month restraining order.
What?
Now, in 2 months, you will have the chance to fight this. You will have the chance to take a look at it again. But Mr. Wright has made it abundantly clear that he does not want to be around
Should've
Miss
said
Quinn.
no or something?
So,
I
we're
feel
going to
like
make that
she's
happen.
just basing
Now,
this all off,
as far as being
lopsided
around
opinion.
the hospital, Miss
Oh.
Quinn, you are able to go there. You are not able to contact or speak to Mr. Wright directly. I understand that it's a big city, but it's also a small city. So do not contact him directly. Do not call him. Do not text him. Do not go to his home. Do not leave him any notes. If that was you, I still don't have any evidence of that. I'm not saying it was, but just to add that in there, do not contact him in any way. In 2 months, you will have the option to appeal this and bring any evidence forward.
Are you
with this
serious?
restraining order. But for right now, you may go to the hospital. Just do not be in any direct contact with the plaintiff. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. That being said, that is my verdict, and I'm gonna go ahead and.
No!
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is crap.
Email me if you have any questions.
If you want, we can appeal in 2 months. Again, this is
Congratulations,
all the
guys.
evidence was merely circumstantial. Oh, yeah, this it's not.
Hey, Evie,
Again,
congratulations on the
I said-
restraining order. You worked hard for it.
Again, the proof was absolute garbage. I honestly questioned her decision. Even she just admitted that they had no proof that the text messages from you, that the notes were
Am
from
I
you.
an asshole?
So
2 months? I mean, what are we gonna do? We gotta
Uh-huh.
appeal this.
yeah, we have to wait for 2 months. I would speak with Dr. Thatch in the time being, but like I said, I do believe we'll win this on appeal because again, it's all circumstantial evidence. There's nothing really to go off of.
Hey, redhead, you need to jump.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Yes.
Me, redhead?
Wait. What happens if I need to talk to him?
Is there a way you can speak with Dr. Thatch or Mr. Thatch?
Yes, but he never contacts me back, and I need
uh,
therapy.
Can you reach out to anyone at Pillbox to get a hold of Mr. Thatch for you? I
can
believe
try.
Dr. Choi. Have you ever met Dr. Choi?
That's always one of the more difficult
she
things
was
to get with
grumpy.
Like eventually, you'll learn to
Yeah, she's a
identify
pretty
when the
cranky lady,
objections
but I'm sure
are, like,
she could
would be
get
technically
a hold
valid,
of
but
Dr.
sometimes
Thatch
you
for
actually
you
want to
or another
let
therapist.
this slide.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just don't
I apologize.
understand.
Again, it's evidence based on a preponderance of evidence, but she still ruled. Like I said, I question the ruling, but we can appeal. Like I said, it's going to take. We'll have to wait 2 months, but we can appeal it. So,
How do we appeal it?
just reach out to me, and I will do the legwork because I'll have to file the appeal.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for everything. You did great.
no problem. Like I said,
Do I need witnesses or something?
I mean, if anyone was a witness to the biker gang pulling guns on you, that would help.
Don't have
yeah,
that.
yeah. If you have any witnesses to prove that, say, maybe Miss Lockhart was aggressive to you, anyone that's heard or them slandering you in public, that would also be good. You know, because
Like just
slander's
now?
no, not now. Now wouldn't
So
work. but,
literally
like,
the one thing I said about him
again, the problem you're going to run into is
was, oh, I want to still see him, and they use that against me. The one
as a
sentence out my
professional.
mouth.
Yeah, like I
That
said,
doesn't make
unfortunately, all
sense.
their evidence was. I disagree with any of their testimony because again, all those people are inclined to lie on Mr. Red's behalf. You
I
know,
don't feel safe. I feel like the loss is gonna come after me. What do I do?
I tell you what. When you're in the next county, go speak with one of the police department. Go speak with one of the police officers. Let them know. Say, hey, you know, this is what happened. The Lost MC have made a threat against me before. Reference the case number. Let them know and just say like, hey, you know, I'm afraid that after this situation, they are going to come after me. You know, make sure
Okay.
you reference that report. You get the report number you gave me.
Okay.
So just be like, hey, you know, this was what happened. There were lost MCs at the court case. So yeah, just make the police aware that the lost MC, you feel threatened that they may come after you after this court case.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
I need to go speak with the ADA.
Okay. Welp. We're gonna have to 2 months. We're gonna have to you know, figure this out. Why are they standing there?
Be seeing you soon, Miss Quinn. Very fucking soon.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, we're gonna kill you.
Keep leaving notes, you'll find out. Don't bullshit me. I'm not a cop and I'm not a fucking judicial person. Don't try me.
I ate a person the other day. I will literally cut you open and eat you too.
Y'all are real cute. Try me, bitch.
Be seeing you soon, Miss Quinn.
You know what? You're right. 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 Keep threatening me. You gonna see.